Hecate is a goddess from Greek mythology who is associated with witchcraft, crossroads, and the underworld. She is often depicted holding 2 torches or a key and is sometimes accompanied by black dogs. She is often associated with crossroads in the Greek mythology because the crossroads were believed to be a place where the physical world and the supernatural world intersected. They were thought to be liminal spaces where the boundaries between the living and the dead were blurred and where gods were believed to be present. This made the crossroads a powerful place for magic and divination, and Hecate, as a goddess of witchcraft and magic, she was thought to be particularly powerful at crossroads, where she could exert her influence over the living and the dead. In many cultures, crossroads were considered sacred places, and rituals and offerings were often made at these locations to appease the spirits and gods who were thought to inhabit them. Hecate is one of the deities that was associated with the crossroads and had her power and influence invoked to protect and guide travellers and to help find answers to questions on fate and destiny. She is said to be able to guide souls to the underworld and is often depicted holding 2 torches, which were believed to light the way for the souls travelling to the underworld. She was also associated with the moon and was sometimes referred to as the Queen of the Night, with her most well-known sigil being the 3 phases of the moon. In addition to this, the crossroads were also believed to be a place where 3 roads met, which was associated with Hecate's triple form, as a maiden, a mother, and a crone, reflecting the 3 phases of the moon as well. Hecate's origins were somewhat uncertain, however, but it is believed that she predates the Greek pantheon and was originally a Thracian or Anatolian goddess. She was eventually incorporated into Greek religion, and she was said to be able to grant power to those who honoured her and to be able to curse those who angered her. In occult practices today, she is well known as a jealous goddess who will not tolerate a practitioner once they've devoted themselves to her, worshipping any other gods, or worse, leaving her altogether. As a side note, it is worth mentioning that a key part of Christianity spreading was as a result of jealous gods, as the one true God, to which all gods, demons and angels are subject to, could liberate people from their enslavement. Hecate was by no means the worst. As gods were like poltergeists, some would actually wreak havoc on people's lives if they so much as let a candle go out. So in those days it really was quite a thing to be liberated from the binds of the gods. In literature, Hecate is best known for the role she plays in the history of Persephone, who was kidnapped by Hades. According to the myth, Hades, the god of the underworld, fell in love with Persephone, the daughter of Demeter, the goddess of agriculture. Without the consent of Persephone's mother, Hades abducted Persephone and took her to the underworld to be his queen. Demeter, in her grief and anger, caused the earth to become barren, cold, causing a great famine on the earth. The other gods and goddesses intervened, and Zeus ordered Hades to release Persephone, but before she was allowed to leave, Hades made her eat 6 pomegranate seeds, which bound her to the underworld, meaning she had to return to the underworld for 6 months of the year, causing the winter season. Hecate, the goddess of witchcraft, crossroads, and the underworld, is said to have aided Persephone during her time in the underworld and to have helped Demeter search for a daughter. According to some versions of the myth, Hecate is said to have accompanied Persephone when she was taken to the underworld and to have helped her navigate the realms of the dead. In other versions, Hecate is said to have been the one who helped Demeter in her search for Persephone by providing her with torches to light her way through the dark underworld. In any case, Hecate's role in the story of Persephone and Hades is that of helper and protector, and her association with the underworld and with witchcraft made her a fitting companion for Persephone on her journey to the realm of the dead. It's worth noting that the story of Hecate, Persephone and Hades can vary depending on the source and interpretation of the myth, so be prepared for that one. Hecate was also revered by some as a goddess of childbirth and children. Her association with children and childbirth is likely due to her association with the moon and her role as a goddess of protection and guidance. She is believed to be able to influence the timing and outcome of childbirth, ease the pains of labour, and protect children from harm. As a goddess of witchcraft, crossroads in the underworld, oh dear, that's repeated rather many times, she was traditionally honoured in rituals that were associated with these aspects of her nature. Some of the rituals that were used to worship Hecate included crossroad offerings. So it was very traditional to leave offerings for her, food and drink at crossroads, and including dog food actually. It also includes leaving the ash from incense that's been burnt for her, and any other waste from magical operations that invoked her. Moon rituals. Hecate was often associated with the 3 phases of the moon, so it is traditional to perform rituals in honour of her during the full moon, the new moon, and the dark moon. Ancestor veneration. She was also associated with the dead and ancestor veneration, so it was traditional to honour her during rituals that honoured the ancestors, as well as ask for her help in guiding loved ones that have recently passed. Hecate was known as the goddess of witchcraft and magic, so it was traditional to perform rituals in honour of her during the practice of magic and divination. And she's also often depicted holding a serpent and having dogs around her, so it is traditional to leave offerings of dogs or of snakes or other animals associated with the underworld as a way of honouring her. She was known to have a love of animals and to take care of them. She's often depicted holding a torch, so it was traditional to light candles or torches as a way of honouring her as well. But from my recollections of looking into Hecate before, in fact, if you leave a candle in your window, it's a form of invitation to her as well. So not every time, obviously, you have to, I suppose, call her or perform some ritual to identify the candle as for her. But there we go. Moving on. It's worth noting that the rituals to worship Hecate can vary depending on the source and the interpretations of myths dating back to ancient times, and some of them may not be quite so appropriate in modern times, like leaving animal offerings, for example. Well, any food offerings. To be honest with you, in this day and age, you leave any food outside and it's going to attract rats, so please don't do it. In modern times, Hecate continues to be associated with witchcraft and magic and is often revered by Wiccans and other modern pagans. Hecate has been represented in art in a variety of ways throughout history. In ancient Greek art, she's often depicted as a woman holding two torches, which were believed to light the way for souls travelling to the underworld and for travellers on their journey. She was also often depicted holding a key, which symbolised her role as a guide and protector for travellers. In some depictions, she was shown holding a serpent, which symbolised her connection to the underworld and her association with witchcraft and magic. In Roman art, she was often depicted as a three-headed goddess, reflecting her role as a goddess of crossroads and her association with the three phases of the moon. She was also sometimes depicted holding a serpent or a key and was often shown wearing a headdress of snakes, which symbolised her connection to the underworld and her association with witchcraft and magic. In the Middle Ages, Hecate was often depicted as a crone or an old woman, reflecting her role as the goddess of witchcraft and magic and as protector of women and children. She was often shown holding a key as well, and a serpent or a broom, which were all symbols of her connection with the underworld and magic and witchcraft. In modern times, Hecate has been depicted in a variety of ways in art, literature, and popular culture. She is often portrayed as a powerful and mysterious figure, often associated with magic and the occult. In some depictions, she's shown as wise and a powerful witch, while in others, she's portrayed as a goddess of the night, or as a guide to the protector of travellers. And if I remember correctly, she often is found on the moon card in a tarot deck. With Hecate's mysterious origins, she remains a tantalising mystery on the one hand, and on the other, nothing more than a functional character in the pantheon. I mean, after all, someone has to light the way to the underworld when death comes for you. Somehow it makes death seem a little bit more friendly and welcoming. What do you think? Leave your comments below. Would you like a goddess with snakes and dogs standing at a gate with torches to show you the way to Hades? Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please like and subscribe if you would like to see more. See you in the next video.